Work-life balance, the holy grail of high performers who secretly feel like they're drowning in, well, slow motion. You've said it, right? I just need to find better balance. And there's no shame, I've said it too. Until I realized what that phrase was really doing in my life. It wasn't giving me clarity, it wasn't giving me cover. Work-life balance is the most socially accepted form of self-abandonment, I think, in the professional world, maybe in the entire world. Because here's the truth. If you're smart, you're driven, and you're used to people relying on you, you don't want balance. You want relief. You want your life back. Balance has become a way to delay, well, the hard stuff, the hard decisions, maybe the honest reflection, the realignment of your actual values. It's like it's branded safety. It's a strategy to avoid disappointment, but you're disappointed anyway. So if this is really hitting something in you, it's not a red flag. It's, well, a welcome mat. Welcome in. Here we go. Shall we go deeper? The real reason balance doesn't work is because, well, you've been taught that life and work are competing forces, when in reality, they're both a reflection of your internal operating system. And if that system is built on, well, people pleasing, maybe avoidance of conflict, the fear of slowing down, addiction to achievement, then no calendar hack in the world is going to fix that. Balance is trying to repaint a crumbling wall. You need a blueprint, and it starts with telling the truth. Here's what I guide my clients through when they're ready to stop performing and they are really starting to lead their actual life. And this isn't a theory. It's emotional architecture of wholeness. If you're finding value in this story, I'd love to invite you to hit the subscribe button. You'll be the first to receive more content just like this, honest, relevant, and here to support you on your journey. With every like, every follow, every comment, together we are succeeding in our mission and reconnecting the world with what matters most. And that's with, of course, each other. Thank you so much. The first thing I say, and I say it all the time, is facing your reality. Facing your reality must be one of the hardest things we can do. But I'd ask you, what are you hoping balance would give you? Like, stop, seriously stop, take a deep breath and answer this. What do you think balance will fix? Because you're not actually chasing the perfect schedule, you're chasing a feeling. Maybe it's emotional relief. Maybe it's like peace of mind. Maybe you want to stop feeling like your own life is happening to you. But unless you name what you're really craving, you keep using productivity hacks to patch up all these emotional wounds, if you like. You can't solve burnout if you won't admit the burnout. You can't solve disconnection if you won't admit that you're feeling alone in what's a crowded life. And let me share with you something that, as someone that has coached thousands of hours in high performance professional coaching, clarity is always waiting on the other side of honesty, every single time. If you're burnt out, it's okay to own it. If you're feeling unfulfilled, stop justifying it. If you're craving something more, stop pretending and justifying like you're not. Make that your priority. And this is the second big headline, is making that your priority, whatever your truth is. You're used to managing deadlines. Now manage your desires. What you really want, that peace, that presence, that pulse of passion again. Make that your North Star. Because what balance will do is it will keep you juggling everything. Priority, on the other hand, will force you to choose. I think this is why most people avoid it. But here's the thing. Most high performers don't struggle because they're unproductive. They struggle because they're overcommitting to the wrong things. That makes sense. You've been trained to say yes before checking if it's aligned. to that North Star. You're being rewarded for endurance instead of integrity. So it's time to flip that. Start saying yes to only what actually fuels you and lights you up inside. Not what flatters you, not what validates you, not what keeps the optics clean. You can do all of that for yourself. I'd love to share those principles with you too. But imagine if you could do that for yourself, then you can say no to all the things that don't matter. So the third major headline is embrace the consequences. This is where the game really truly changes and will test you, I promise. Most people chase balance because they don't want to make someone else uncomfortable. To be honest, you don't make anyone feel anything. They do it to themselves. But for example, they don't want to say no to the team. They don't want to miss the client dinner. They don't want to be seen as difficult or lazy or unavailable or soft or insert whatever else it is that you've been secretly going after. But let me be really, kind of blunt here. You cannot create an extraordinary life if you keep living like you owe everyone comfort but yourself. You will lose people when you make these changes. You will miss some opportunities. You will let some things drop. And none of that's failure. That's evolution. This is the growth in who it is that you're becoming. Because you don't get to keep every version of your life and still become someone new, the version of you that you want to become. So let that go. Burn that bridge. Turn that page. Whatever metaphor works. Just do the damn thing. And headline number 4 is commit to real growth. And I mean like real growth. Here's the subtle but powerful truth. If your current life feels unsatisfying, it was designed by a version of you that no longer exists. The values, the roles, the rhythms you built sometime in the past, a year ago, they've served that version of you. But not this one here today. And probably not the version of you that and where it is that you're going. So if it feels off right now, well, it probably should. It's a pretty good indicator. But the worst thing that you can do in that moment is try to maintain the status quo out of politeness or out of fear. Real growth feels like an identity crisis before it feels like home. Imposter syndrome's not a big deal. It's okay. You will feel exposed. You will feel doubt in yourself. You will be tempted to go back to what's familiar. But let me tell you, the people who live full spectrum lives, and what I mean by that is have it all, the peace, the contentment, the wealth, the health, the relationships, everything that it is that you want, they didn't balance their way there. They burned off the pieces of them that no longer fit. And they kept on walking. They kept on striving for more. And step number 5, this is a big one, so I'll go over it quickly, is study the self-esteem triad. It's the foundation, it's the holy trinity of emotional leadership in all aspects of life. The first pillar is needs. You need to know them, you need to speak them, you need to honor them. Most people were raised to hide them and for other people to fill them. That ends here. You need to start taking responsibility for your own needs. The second one is emotions. Your feelings are data. They're navigation. They're not drama. Listen to them. They're showing you where and who you are and how you're leading with integrity. And the third one is boundaries. Not to push people away, in fact, to teach people how you want them to come in. That help you keep your values close. If you're drained, it's not a time problem, it's a boundary problem. And when this triad, the 3 pieces are in place, you stop negotiating your soul. You stop trading who it is that you are to get through the week. You stop apologizing for living differently. You stop performing peace and you start experiencing it. So imagine this. You wake up and you don't feel like you're already behind before the day even begins. You leave the office and you don't carry your inbox into the dinner table, whether it's at home or out with your friends. You say yes because it's right. not because you're scared of saying no. You don't need a holiday because your life no longer feels like something to escape. That was a big one for me. And that it's not work-life balance. That is alignment. That's self-leadership. And that doesn't come from managing time. It comes from mastering your truth, your unique truth. So if you've been nodding along, or this has been stirring something within you, if this didn't just make sense to you, but it made you feel something deeper, some kind of internal yes, finally, well then trust that. You're not at a dead end. You're at a doorway. And this is just the surface layer. So if this is stirring something within you, well, then there is a whole lot more waiting within you to explore. The next question is, will you keep trying to balance the life that's burning you out? Or will you start designing one that actually lights you up? Once you find the question, and once you know the answer to that question, well, you know where to find me when you're ready. And I'd love to connect with you very soon.